Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
And I'll use the Benavidez case as just an example, and this was started back by Floyd Mayweather, okay? And I didn't like it then, and I expressed it then, and I don't like it now, and everybody has followed suit with what he was doing, and that's the following. He was fighting twice a year, typically September and May. So he would do testing for, say, 8 weeks before the fight. Then he would test again in May, and he would go into testing 8 weeks before the May event. But from May until 2 months before September, and the same thing between September and May, there's no testing, zero testing. So whoever it may be, Benavidez and Andrade or Spence and Crawford, during those times, they can use all the performance-enhancing drugs they like because they're not being tested. Except for, the only exception to that is this WBC program, which is inept, but still, I'm glad that it's there, because they give a budget of about $10,000 a month to VADA, and then that enables them to do about what we call target testing. About 4 boxers per month get tested. A specific example of somebody they busted using the clean boxing program was the very first test for Conor Benn. The second test was done by VADA because he selected to sign up and pay through Matchroom to do VADA testing. But the very first test was a part of the target testing that they did, and when he came back and tested positive. So the point I want to make is that when you do these drugs in conjunction with intensive weight training and all sorts of things that also enhance protein synthesis or muscle growth or increase power and speed, these gains carry over for months and months, if not years. So what I'm telling you is, we'll go back to Mayweather. He would be in a pool, and then right after the fight, now is the time they need to test Benavidez, not previous to the fight, because that's when you can use the drugs, develop the speed and power gains, and then use that all the way up until the time when you sign to do the testing and enter the testing pool. Well, that's not unannounced random testing. That's called announced testing. So if you know there's going to be testing, all you have to do is just taper off, and different drugs have different clearance times. And next thing you know, you're into the pool. And if you notice, though, a lot of the boxers that do VADA testing, when they do test positive, typically, like BJ Saunders, like Conor Benn, the very first time they test them, they catch them because they may possibly miscalculated that taper period. So anyway, that's a couple of the things that I saw on your chat board that I wanted to address. And so I'll turn the questions over to you now, and we can carry forward.
All right. Now, I want to make sure that I don't miss anything that you said. So as it comes to my memories based on what you said, I'll just ask you some questions for clarification purposes, and then we'll move forward. Let's start with Mayweather. You used the example of Floyd Mayweather. You used the example of USADA. I'm going to interject with VADA. I know that the audience may not be confused at this point. They know VADA and USADA is not the same. On the protocol testing, you did mention, which I think that some of the audience may have understanding of this, is that VADA and USADA, they themselves don't own their own labs. They use WADA accredited labs to perform the testing and the testing protocols, correct?
That is correct. And let me explain something further. As with any doctor or any doing business with any type of lab, whether it be commercial or anti-doping, you have a test requisition form. So whomever is ordering those tests, they check the boxes off. We want growth hormone, we want EPO, we want, the anabolic steroid panel, we want all these different tests. So VADA and the people there are checking off all the boxes for in and out of competition. So it's prohibited substances at all times are being tested. And USADA is checking off certain boxes, a more limited number of substances out of competition compared to in competition. So there's the difference. Now, the one advantage of USADA is, and as you called it, the Olympic style testing. Well, Floyd Mayweather never did Olympic style testing. That's complete and total bullshit. Okay, and here's the reason why. Because Olympic style testing is 24/7, 365. Floyd Mayweather never did 24/7, 365 testing ever in his entire career. Right. So him saying that I brought Olympic style testing to boxing, that is totally deceiving the boxing world.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Tape Film crew, welcome to another episode, another edition of Road to Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host, Manager Marty. We need answers. Let me start this live off by saying welcome to each and every last one of you who are joining this live. You might be at work. You might be just relaxing at home. You might be on vacation. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me today, and I appreciate you and I welcome you. Let me also welcome those that are watching the replay of this live. I appreciate your time as well, and to all of my haters, my spies, and my detractors, you are equally welcome. All right, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Let's get to the super chats. The first, but definitely not the only ones. I promise y'all today, I'm not going to keep y'all that long. Double salute to a member of the channel, supervisor of the Road to Tape Film crew. She's starting this off the right way like she did yesterday, and she's doing it again. And I want to double salute her for her support and contributions and even feedback to the channel. She jumped up here on a panel, gave us some good questions and insight. Much love and respect for Ty Drakeford. Sis, I appreciate you so much for your support. And Ty says in the super chat to start the air fryer. And also double salute to another member of the channel, supervisor of the Road to Tape Film crew. She also was here yesterday and jumped on the panel, gave some good insight and asked a good few questions as well, as she always does when she come on here. And she is, in my personal assessment, the #1 female boxing content creator on YouTube. And I'm talking about yours truly, 2 Cents Boxing. And double salute to her. And this is what she said in the super chat. Victor gives a masterclass on how to cheat every time he talks. only confirming his expertise, always trying to point the finger at others. Well, Two Cents Boxing, that's exactly how I'm going to start this show off today. But before I do, I have to double salute all things. Double salute Lucky McKinnell's. Double salute D1 and all of the other members of the channel and supervisors of the Roll the Tape film crew that are here. Now let's start the show off. Someone asked about the Cash App tag. Is right there on your screen, at the bottom of your screen. $ Manager Marty, and I appreciate all contributions and support to the channel. You can also join the channel, and you can also contribute through a super chat, super sticker, and or a super thanks. And it's all greatly appreciated to continue to give you the quality content with substance, with entertainment, but most importantly, education. And I appreciate all the contributions. Double salute to my guy, Jeremy Austin. He's another member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. So we're going to start it off with what Two Cents Boxing said when she said, only confirming his expertise, always trying to point the finger at others. Well, she was talking about Victor Conte. And if you look on your screen, here we have Victor Conte right here, pointing the finger at Ryan Garcia. And let me read just the first sentence. Victor Conte said this, and I believe he published this on X, formerly known as Twitter, yesterday. I am calling out Ryan Garcia. In my opinion, he is an outright liar. Hey, don't get mad at me, y'all. Those were the words of Victor Conte. He said Ryan Garcia is an outright liar. Now, I find it amazing, me personally. I find it intriguing, me personally, that Victor Conte has the audacity, has the gall to call Ryan Garcia a liar. I don't. Let me put that back on your screen. I want to give y'all time to just go ahead and read that one more time, please. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on your screen real quick. Y'all let that marinate. Victor Conte called Ryan Garcia an outright liar. I mean, that's interesting to me. I mean, it really is. Coming from Victor and all, calling Ryan Garcia an outright liar. I mean, that's crazy to me. I mean, because time and time again, since December 27th, 2023, that's when Victor Conte was here. I mean, I caught him in about 15 to 20 lies in 5 hours of 2 different dialogues that I had with him personally. And to me, I can speak on this. This was my experience. Just for those of you that might get upset with me, or take up for him, or take up for the snack protocol, or take up for the fighters that's over there with snack, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. This is my experience. I'm sitting up there asking this man questions, and I'm not going to lie to any of you like I never did and never will, and I'm not going to lie now. 85 to 90% of the questions that I asked Victor Conte, I already knew the answers to the questions. Okay? Now, I wasn't prepared to ask him any questions because originally, as you all know at this point, I didn't know he was coming up here in the first place. You know, I didn't get an opportunity to prepare for Victor to come here. That was all on the spot, both times. Now, I did know that he was coming up the day before, the second time he came up, but I didn't prepare any questions for Victor. I wanted to basically continue and give continuity to the audience who was here a week prior to that first dialogue because there were things that he said, you know what I mean, in the first interview or the first dialogue that I had to press him about. And so for him to call Ryan Garcia an outright liar, that's amazing to me. I mean, he has no room at all to call anybody an outright liar when we've been catching Victor Conte time and time and time again outright lying. Let me give you one lie that I pointed out last week, and some of you might forgot about it. And you know me, I'm Mr. Roller Tape. You know I got the evidence. You know I'll pull it up. But I pulled it up last week. Most of you here, y'all heard it. I'm not going to regurgitate it. Victor Conte said to me, when he was talking to me, he told me, I'll fix my pillow real quick. He told me, he said, I sponsored 2 boxers to undergo 365 24/7 testing. I put up $40,000 of my own money, $20,000 for Nonito Donaire, and another additional $20,000 for Edwin Rodriguez. And he said, his words, not mine, Rachel Donaire and Nonito can vouch for me. That's exactly how he said it. But we know, we know today, January 14th, 2025, Rachel Donaire is not a credible source to vouch for Victor. I mean, we caught her in several lies, even about me. So we can't go and refer to her. We can't even refer to Victor Conte. Why? Because in 2015, I've already pulled the tape on this last week. Even though he told me December of 2023 that he only sponsored 2 boxers to undergo 365 24/7 testing, in 2015, the man said that he sponsored 10. Y'all remember that? Anybody in the chat, let's engage real quick before I let y'all go. We got to point out Shakur Stevenson next. Anybody in the chat, let's engage just a yes or no. Does anybody remember that when Victor Conte said in 2015 on the Seconds Out podcast or YouTube channel, when he said he sponsored 10 boxers to undergo 365 24/7 testing? Do anybody remember that in the chat? Thank you, Mr. De La Cruz 559, and I know you at work. I hope I help your day go by a little bit smoother, Mr. De La Cruz, while you at work. Y'all remember that? Lucky McKinnell was here. He said, yes, sir. Scott was here. Thank you, Scott. You see? So which one is it? Thank you, Steve and Ty. So which one is it? Which one is it? You sponsored 10 boxers in 2015. Thank you, all things. Or did you sponsor 2 when you talked to me? That's not the only lie we caught him in. But I'm just saying, though, he's calling Ryan Garcia an outright liar. But we've caught Victor in several different lies. And it's unfortunate. Now, double salute to my guy, JSUS72. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. Now, let's get on to this lawsuit Now, they're saying, I don't know who made this up. I don't know. But they're saying, people are saying that Devin Haney dropped the lawsuit and Ryan Garcia has now officially agreed to undergo VADA testing as a prerequisite for Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney to fight at a catchweight in the rematch. I'm just trying to figure out where the paperwork at. Once again, we're not going by what I tell y'all in January of 2024 on this channel. We're not going by hearsay anymore. We've been sweet talked long enough. Where is the documentation? Where is the documentary evidence to substantiate these claims? I've never seen somebody drop a lawsuit and there was no paperwork involved. I mean, me personally, I've never seen it. Where the paperwork at? Where is VADA on X, formerly known as Twitter? Aren't they supposed to say, we welcome Ryan Garcia? He is now enrolled in testing through VADA? I haven't seen one yet. Did you all see a tweet from VADA stating that they welcome Ryan Garcia now? How about on their website? Because they publish, when fighters are welcomed into the enrollment process on their website. Have y'all seen? I haven't seen it. Oh, okay. Double salute to Ty in the super chat. Thank you again, Ty, for your contribution and your support. Ty says Monday was the first business day after the awards. So how they do that so fast? That's what I'm trying to figure out, Ty. How they do that so fast? I really personally don't believe it happened. They have to show the paperwork for me to believe. I need to see Ryan Garcia in an interview publicly acknowledging the fact that he is going to now change his stance and undergo VADA testing as a prerequisite to fight Devin Haney in a rematch. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. Some of y'all are not going to like this. If they do fight in a rematch, and I have to take my glasses off to entertain my people. If they fight in a rematch, Victor's going to up the doses. He was giving him 2 snap pellets. Now in the rematch, he going to make sure he give Devin Haney 4 pellets. He going to make sure he give him 4 pills now. Yeah, he going to up his dosages. Hey, we all entitled to give opinions, aren't we? Because, hey, don't get mad at me. Victor Conte gave his opinion, and in his opinion, he's calling out Ryan Garcia. Because in his opinion, Ryan Garcia is an outright liar. Okay, we're entitled to give opinions, aren't we? Because when I give facts, a lot of people get mad at me. You know what I mean? Insulting me. Playing mind games. Word salad. Gaslighting. Reverse psychology. Projection. These are all the tactics that has been used on this platform. Today we're not doing that. Moving forward, we're not doing that. We're not entertaining that no more, right? Okay, I just want to make sure everybody understands. We're not entertaining any of that anymore. We know what's going on now. Okay? Now, before we get to Shakur Stevenson, before I let y'all go, and I'm going to come back here tomorrow, and I told y'all we're going to get down to, what's that lady name? Clarissa Shields. Because it's something that Clarissa did, and a lot of people missed it. And you know me. I'm detailed. I pay attention. I've been doing research on this for 15 years. Band up. Double salute to my guy. Band up. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Road to Take film crew. They can't uck with me. I don't use profanity. They can't uck with me when it comes to this. YouTube like this. They don't even know I've been around the camera all my life. Researching. I got to tell y'all something special. I hated doing homework growing up. I really did, y'all. When I was in elementary school, when I was in middle school, when I was even in high school, I hated doing homework growing up. I'm going to tell you why. Because my mother, in her wisdom, right, my mom, she made doing homework a prerequisite for myself and my siblings, that we had to complete all homework assignments and read a book before we go outside and play with our friends. And that used to make me mad every day coming home from school. But I tell you what, double salute to my mom, double salute to her, because I love doing homework now as a grown up. As a grown man, I love doing homework. I hated it as a kid. But there's a prominent proverbial scripture in the word of God that says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I thought as a child. I reasoned as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And so I love doing my homework now. And none of them can refute the 15 years of homework assignments that I've completed. None of them. So now as we get to Shakur Stevenson, because I got to ask Shakur a question too. I got to ask him something. Before I get to asking Shakur something, I want to go back to something that I just let y'all listen to in the beginning of this broadcast as soon as we went live. It was when I talked to Victor Conte, December 27th, 2023. Y'all just heard him say before, the new audience that's here now, before they got here, all of you that came up here in the beginning, you heard him say that Mayweather did not undergo Olympic-style testing. It was complete BS, and Mayweather deceived the boxing world. Those were the words of Victor Conte. And I want to play something that he said that illustrates the point that I've been making basically for the last 2 weeks. Let's see if we can get Victor to tell everything as he always does. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
And I'll use the Benavidez case as just an example. And this was started back by Floyd Mayweather, okay? And I didn't like it then, and I expressed it then, and I don't like it now. And everybody has followed suit with what he was doing, and that's the following. He was fighting twice a year, typically September and May. So he would do testing for, say, 8 weeks before the fight.
Stop. Come on, y'all. Stop now. Stop the tape. Victor Conte said 8 weeks before a fight. Did y'all hear him? I just listen now. I'm just asking a question. Did y'all hear Victor say 8 weeks before a fight? Okay, great. Let's continue.
Then he would test again in May, and he would go into testing 8 weeks before the May event.
Did y'all hear him again? He would go in to a September fight, and then he would get tested 8 weeks prior to that bout in September, and then basically he would repeat that same method and protocol by being tested 8 weeks prior to the second fight that he had that year in May. All right? Stay with me, chat. Don't go into having private conversations because I don't want you to miss this. We're going to get to Shakur Stevenson in a minute. I got to ask Shakur something because he got a fight coming up next month, right? Okay, cool. Let me see if we can continue this.
But from May until 2 months before September, and the same thing between September and May, there's no testing.
Did y'all hear that? Let's be on the same page here. What's up, DJ Rush? Good to see you again, champ. Let's get on the same page here, Jay Henderson. Listen now. See, Victor Conte is explaining the process of testing. Even though he's talking about another agency, he's applying this even with VADA testing. You see that? 8 weeks prior to a fight, but in between those times, when the fighter is not fighting, let's say a fighter has to compete in May, right? Okay, so 8 weeks before May is March. But what happens before March when the testing begins to the fight? They're getting tested from March to May. That's within 8 weeks, right? But what happens before that? Let's say the fighter fought 7, 8 months ago. Let's say September. Let's use this analogy. Let's say Shakur Stevenson. Or Shakur ain't is he with Snack? I don't know. We're going to deal with that in a few minutes. Let's use Devin Haney. Let's say Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, right? They fought what, 420? 420? Okay, they fought. They fought April the 20th. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fought April 20th, right? Okay. So they fought April the 20th. So 8 weeks prior to April, that's when testing began, right? So let's say February. Remember, Ryan Garcia was tested twice in February and he tested negative. He was tested again in March. He also tested negative. But then somehow, some way, he tested right before the fight, the day before the fight, he tested. Anyway, so 8 weeks prior to when Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fought April 20th, right? So before February, because that's when the testing started, February, and then from February to April. So before February, the question becomes, when was Devin Haney's last fight? Before the Ryan Garcia fight. This is very easy, y'all, to answer. Double salute to the official Moss Boss. Thank you for thanking me and appreciating my content by contributing to the Cash App. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. As always, the official Moss Boss. Appreciate you, man, for the Cash App. When was the last time Devin Haney, that's what I'm trying to ask you, when is the last time Devin Haney tested before the Ryan Garcia fight? Does anyone know? Who did Devin Haney fight before Ryan? This is an easy answer. Let's go in the chat. Let's see come on, y'all. I need y'all to come on in the chat. Okay, thank you. Who was that? Boxing Hacker? He fought Regis Prograis. What month was that? I know the answer. I just want to see if we can get some engagement real quick before I let y'all go. What month was that? Because he's with the snack program, right? He with Victor Conte and them, right? Okay. So he fought Prograis. What month was that when he fought Regis Prograis? Does anyone know? The month when he fought Regis? A couple months before that? Okay. The point that Victor Conte's trying to make is in between fights. Because remember, VADA only tests 8 weeks prior to a bout, 8 weeks prior to a fight. So basically, Victor Conte's point in this video that I'm playing is that during the times that the fighters are not competing, from their last fight to their next fight, in between that space, there is no testing. And that's when athletes can manipulate that system and begin to use performance-enhancing drugs and reap the benefits of them once they taper off during the testing period, because they know they're going to be tested 8 weeks prior to a fight, and still receive those gains in the actual fight. This is Victor Conte telling us. Let him educate us. He's the expert.
Zero testing. So whoever it may be, Benavidez and Andrade or Spence and Crawford, during those times, they can use all the performance-enhancing drugs they like because they're not being tested, except for the only exception to that is this WBC program, which is inept, but still, I'm glad that it's there, because they give a budget of about $10,000 a month to VADA, and then that enables them to do about what we call target testing. About 4 boxers per month get tested. A specific example of somebody they busted using the clean boxing program was the very first test for Connor Ben.
All right, stop real quick. I just had a quick question. How does Victor Conte know how much the WBC is giving to VADA? Why is that of his concern? How does he know that? I mean, who told him the agreement that VADA have with the sanctioning body, the WBC, and the monetary funds that they invest or quote unquote donate to VADA? How does he know that? I was asking, okay. They said he has no affiliation with VADA, right? I'm just asking. Okay.
The second test was done by VADA because he selected to sign up and pay through Matchroom to do VADA testing. But the very first test was a part of the target testing that they did when he came back and tested positive. So the point I want to make is that when you do these drugs in conjunction with intensive weight training and all sorts of things that also enhance protein synthesis.
All right, hold on. Is my audio messing up? People are saying my audio is messed up. Can somebody hear me in the chat? Can y'all hear me? Yo, can I get an audio check? Is my mic working? Can y'all hear me? Oh, y'all can hear me? All right, cool. It's static. I don't know why it's static. I don't know what's going on. That's crazy. Yo, I wish somebody would have told me before. I'm still static. Oh, y'all know now StreamYard in on it now. Now I'm still breaking up. Oh, come on, YouTube. Stop playing, y'all. Yo, it's clear. Oh, it's clear now. I'm good. I'm good. Ooh, listen, y'all know it's a conspiracy against me. Well, we do know. My mic cracking too? What's going on? Yo, this is crazy. Oh, I'm good now? Or I'm good? No, I'm not on a Bluetooth mic. This is a regular. Oh, they hate. Oh, my gosh. I'm good, Jay Henderson? All right. All right, I'm straight.
Or muscle growth or increased power and speed. These gains carry over for months and months, if not years. So what I'm telling you is, we'll go back to Mayweather. He would be in a pool, and then right after the fight, now is the time they need to test Benavidez, not previous to the fight, because that's when you can use the drugs, develop the speed and power gains, and then use that all the way up until the time when you sign to do the testing and enter the testing pool. Well, that's not unannounced random testing. That's called announced testing.
So how do we know the snack fighters are not doing this? I'm not here to accuse. I'm asking a question based on his profound logic, which makes a lot of sense. Can y'all hit the like button, please? I promise y'all we be going within 10 minutes or maybe 15. I'm not gonna put a time limit on it. We'd be here for another 2 hours if I do that. But I'm just asking the question. If this is the case with all athletes that's entering into VADA testing when there's 8 weeks of testing prior to the 8 weeks of a fight, or 8 weeks prior to a fight, then in between the fights, these athletes are not getting tested. And according to Victor Conte, the athlete, the fighter, can still use those gains going into the next cycle of testing when they have a next fight coming up. Because they have to cycle on and cycle off. You see what I'm saying? I had a question on something. Well, let me talk about Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to ask this question, and I promise y'all we're going to go. So that's the thing that Victor is talking about. Hold on, let me just finish it up real quick.
So if you know there's going to be testing, all you have to do is just taper off, and different drugs have different clearance times. And next thing you know, you're into the pool. And if you notice, though, a lot of the boxers that do VADA testing, when they do test positive, typically, like BJ Saunders, like Connor Ben, the very first time they test them, they catch them because they may possibly miscalculated that taper period.
Miscalculated the taper period. I just wanted to play that. And then, of course, he's going to say that Mayweather did not do 365 24/7 testing. Let's get
so anyway, that's a couple of the things that I saw on your chat board that I wanted to address. And so I'll turn the questions over to you now, and we can carry forward.
All right. Now, I want to make sure that I don't miss anything that you said. So as it comes to my remembrance based on what you said, I'll just ask you some questions for clarification purposes, and then we'll move forward. Let's start with Mayweather. You used the example of Floyd Mayweather. You used the example of USADA. I'm going to interject with VADA. I know that the audience may not be confused at this point. They know VADA and USADA is not the same. On the protocol testing, you did mention, which I think that some of the audience may have understanding of this, is that VADA and USADA, they themselves don't own their own labs. They use WADA accredited labs to perform the testing and the testing protocols, correct?
That is correct. And let me explain something further. As with any doctor or any doing business with any type of lab, whether it be commercial or anti-doping, you have a test requisition form. So whomever is ordering those tests, they check the boxes off. We want growth hormone, we want EPO, we want, the anabolic steroid panel, we want all these different tests. So VADA and the people there are checking off all the boxes for in and out of competition. So it's prohibited substances at all times are being tested. And USADA is checking off certain boxes, a more limited number of substances out of competition compared to in competition. So there's the difference. Now, the one advantage of USADA is, and as you called it, the Olympic style testing. Well, Floyd Mayweather never did Olympic style testing. That's complete and total bullshit. Okay, and here's the reason why. Because Olympic style testing is 24/7, 365. Floyd Mayweather never did 24/7, 365 testing ever in his entire career.
Why is he saying that? I'll tell you why. He's saying that because Floyd Mayweather was tested, according to Victor now, 8 weeks prior to a bout. Isn't that what all of the athletes have to do when they sign up and enroll with VADA? Be subject to 8 weeks prior to a bout or prior to a fight of testing. Could be four tests administered, could be 2, could be 6, could be 8. Bottom line is 8 weeks prior to a fight, they're tested. And that's it. So it was an issue, and it was BS when Floyd Mayweather said Olympic style testing, but now it's cool for the snack fighters to do the same thing. It's the same thing. And speaking of the same thing, it's another same thing that's been going on. And you know me, I wait. I don't have to just bring everything in it at the same time. It's another thing that's been going on. This excruciating power. See, nobody can refute none of this. the excruciating power that the snack fighters and they get this. I mean, I don't even know where. Okay, it comes from Victor Conte. Okay, maybe it comes from the pills and the supplements that's online. I don't know. But we do know that the excruciating power that all of the athletes that have gone through the snack protocol with Victor Conte, that excruciating power is displayed typically between the first, second, and or the third round. You see, I wanted to wait until I put everybody else out there first. You know, like Clarissa Shields, when her first fight with the snack protocol, she moved up to heavyweight, and you saw what round she knocked down and TKO'd her last opponent. Round number 2. Y'all seen how Devin Haney goes in there with Regis Prograis. He knocked Regis Prograis down in round number 3. Remember when Demetrius Andre, he goes in there and fight Demond Nicholson before he fought Benavidez. Y'all remember that? He knocked Demond Nicholson down in round what? 2. Should I continue? Okay, let's stay on round number 2. Y'all remember when Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence? He knocked Errol Spence down. What round was that again? Round number 2. Remember Julian J. Rock Williams? When he fought Jared Hurd out there in the DMV. Y'all remember that? For the title? Man, he knocked Jared Hurd down in round number what? 1. And guess who else have to be added now to the list? Yup. I knew somebody was going to guess it without me having to say his name. Yeah, I am talking about none other than Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, I know some people, you know, have a hard time believing this. I understand. But I didn't tell him to go call Victor. I don't know if Terrence Crawford encouraged him to call Victor Conte, but I'm just saying I didn't ask that man to call him. You know? I mean, you look at your screen right now, right? Shakur Stevenson. Look, he got the snack logo right there on his trunks. Then in this one, look at him again. He got the snack logo on his trunks right there. Go on and look at him again in another fight. He has the snack logo on his trunks right at the bottom on the right-hand side. You see it right there. It doesn't stop there. Bam. Go and look at his left leg now. Shakur Stevens at the bottom. He got the snack logo on his trunks right there. I'm just telling y'all what happened. I mean, some people can get mad all they want, but this is the reality of it. And then right here, when he fought the guy Jeremiah. In fact, we might as well start right here. Why not? Why not start right here? Because this was the first fight that we saw Shakur Stevenson compete with the snack logo on his trunks. And you know what round he knocked him down in, don't you? Yeah, Shakur's performance was enhanced in this fight. Yeah, it's the first fight with Victor Conte in the snack protocol. Yep. Then after that, he goes and he fight Jamel Herring. Right? TKO'd him. Did you see Jamel Herring's face after this fight? Go back and look at it now if you don't believe. Go look at the highlights in this fight. Yeah, this is the second fight with Snack when he fought Jamel Herring. Yeah, he did. TKO'd that man 2 in the 6th round. Same round Terrence Crawford knocked out David Evanesian. Out cold, unconscious. Some of y'all remember these fights, you know. Don't forget, you know, Shakur Stevenson, when he fought Oscar Valdez in the next fight after he fought Herring. Knocked him down. You know what I mean? He knocked Oscar Valdez down on the snack protocol. Yeah, some of y'all remember these fights. Yeah. Then he fought. I always mispronounce the guy's last name. Y'all know Robson Canseco or Robson. Yeah, Rob. I don't know if it's Canseco, but every time the color commentators say his name, I know who they talking about. Yeah, and you seen what Shakur did to him on that snack, knocked him down too. My goodness. Oh, it doesn't stop there. Don't forget what Shakur Stevenson did to his next fight after Robson, the guy Yoshino, and this was in 2023 before he fought De Los Santos. Oh man, he destroyed this kid. He destroyed that guy Yoshino. I think that was one of Shakur's best fights. When you see what round he TKO'd him in, you know everything is always either the second or the sixth round with Shakur. You know what I mean? But if you notice something right about Shakur Stevenson, right? His last two fights, when he fought the boy Artem and then De Los Santos, he didn't have the snack logo on his trunks. And those two fighters was able to hit Shakur Stevenson more often than we ever seen. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just pointing it out. I figure I point it out like I always do. You know, look like he didn't get a knockdown in this fight when he fought De Los Santos. You know what I mean? Or when he fought Artem in his last fight. You know what I mean? So I just got a question for Shakur. I want them to see my face so they'll know this is just a real live question. And I'm gonna let y'all go after this. I want to ask Shakur Stevenson a question. Because Shakur Stevenson, always been undefeated, So I'm just trying to figure out from Shakur Stevenson, what did you call Victor Conte for? You was already undefeated. You one of the rare breeds that did a good job in the Olympics, representing the great country of America. What did you call Victor for? Seemed like everything in your training camp was working. See, this is the same question I got for all of them. Undefeated fighters. And some of them had titles, and some of them, like, when Shakur fought Oscar Valdez, some of them make history, gaining a world title or unifying the titles. Like when Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence. I'm trying to figure out why he called him Clarissa Shields, move up the heavyweight. You call Victor Conte. Why? You're already good. You're already talented. You're already undefeated. And then the opponents that y'all facing, y'all keep saying that y'all gonna run through them anyway. So then what you call him for? I'm just asking. People can get mad, but I'm just asking. See, y'all didn't know Shakur Stevenson was added to that list as well. Of when the excruciating power start improving when their fights are happening, especially in the first 3 rounds. I'm just asking a question. And on top of all of this, what I'm trying to figure out is why Shakur Stevenson didn't use him when he fought De Los Santos and the guy Artem in his last fight. And my other last question is Shakur Stevenson going to call Victor Conte back again when he fights the young guy, Kid Austin, next month? We need answers. So that's all I want to know, y'all. And come back tomorrow, because I got something to tell y'all about Clarissa Shields. No, it's not just about the fact that she's with Snack and Victor Conte. No, that's not the only reason why. It's something else that she did. She went live sometime last week, and she put something in her title. And I'm going to point something out and compare it to what Victor Conte told us. And I bet you I'm going to expose something else. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it.